went to DP, went to FDC. There is no way NUP will survive it.
Besigye revealed that he is not shocked if the NUP Deputy President for Buganda, Mathias Mpuuga, was trapped in the August House because of all legislators intentionally going to Parliament to feed on the cash bonanzas.
I would not be surprised if Mpuuga is captured in that way. I would not be surprised.
He entrapped himself.
Yes, as I would not be surprised by all the others calling themselves opposition. In other words, those who go to Parliament knowing the architecture of the political system choose to go there and become co-opted.
Political actors have watered down the ultimatum from Mpuuga to explain himself over the 500 million cash bonanza, revealing that it will not yield any results. These as sides remain silent on the next course of action if neither an explanation or resignation is tendered in. The Mpuuga-Kyagulanyi difference, to many, has been equated to ideological differences which caused a split between General Mugisha Muntu and Dr. Kizza Besigye then in the Forum for Democratic Change. Just hours to reach the ultimatum given to NUP Deputy President Mathias Mpuuga to explain himself, giving reasons why he should not be recalled from the Parliamentary Commission, not any form of communication has been seen in the corridors of the party. This leaves chances closed in for NUP as the Parliamentary Administration Act does not offer remedy to the party. Political analyst Henry Kasacha argues that there was never anything holding water in the said document, revealing that NUP has not explored any avenues to resolve.
The 7 days were issued as an ultimatum, but in my opinion the 7 days are empty because there is no law that they can act after the ultimatum has lapsed.
Charles Olwenyi, a scholar of democracy, indicates that the forces derailing the negotiations between the conflicting party leaders at NUP.
Also, the people who want this, the number of interests, people want this thing to drag, either to destroy a national unity platform or to make a national uniform platform. They will continue this process. But as I've rightly indicated earlier, that we're likely to see between 3 to 4 pronged approaches in terms of this process. One is a negotiation, which I'm very certain.
But away from the party negotiations, if at all, the two parties, Mathias Mpuuga and Robert Kyagulanyi, agree to explore avenues of reconciliation, who would be the parties to intervene? Many say the spotlight would be put on institutions first, Buganda Kingdom and the Church. Then senior leaders, including former Katikiros of Buganda, Joseph Mulwanya Mulise Mogerere, Dan Mulika, Bishop Zach Niringie, among others. While Dr. Kizza Besigye, a seasoned politician, is expected to guide the termed friendly forces of change on how to handle the conflict, little is expected of him as he is still grappling with the torn apart and trying to find a new vehicle to put his voice. As several remain optimistic that the negotiations will eventually come through, the two analysts argue that the long overdue impasse leaves a dent. For now, it remains to be seen whether Mpuuga will backtrack on his defined position to step down and whether the pressure mounted will come to yield in any near future. News making headlines across the country now. Spotlight continues to be on the Uganda Wildlife Authority over fictitious operations that resulted into a whopping 40 billion shillings allegedly being shared amongst the staff of UA, now the Wildlife Authority, which is currently on a chopping board before Kosasi State Enterprises. Kosasi is embroiled in accusations of mismanagement and going against its Board of Governors advice.
In a series of fraudulent actions, it has now emerged that the level of fraud is not 500 million shillings as reported earlier. Indeed, in what is evidently a job supervised by the rank and file of Wildlife Authority, money to a tune of 40 billion was lost. In 2020, after the Uganda Wildlife Management created a tracking system which would easily conceal illegal transactions.
We have an internal disciplinary committee, and these colleagues of ours went through an internal disciplinary process, and 7 cases have been concluded. Out of the 7, there are 4 dismissals, 1 termination, and 2 acquittals.
The management is on spot for causing financial loss to the authority after incriminating evidence shows that several workers made away with millions in what could be categorized as one of the biggest wildlife hates. Uganda Wildlife Authority staff allegedly designed a revenue collecting system which they would later use as a tool to defraud the facility of 40 billion shillings with forged permits and change of reservations. This system, despite different cautions from auditors, management kept a deaf ear to its being to date.
Because I'm reporting a figure that was disclosed by our internal audit report between a period of June to August, between June to August 2023. Within that period, when we did the audit was done, we lost 500 million Uganda shillings. That's financial loss. Okay? And how did it come about? It's the audit report. Okay? Audit made recommendations. We have even gone beyond recommendations of audit for information. Okay? If you recall, people were suspended, but management decided to pursue also criminal action against them.
The misappropriation of resources in government entities like Uganda Wildlife Authority is a worrying concern at the expense of the masses.
She made payments to Michael on that date. What was it for? Not when you met Michael. When you tell lies on oath.
This is a matter under contention in the Parliament's Committee of State Assets and State Enterprises, COSASE, and the findings of procurement irregularities and suppression of Uganda Wildlife Authority staff are at center stage.
The scandal continues to unfold with new details every other day. We take a very short break for now. We'll return with a lot more stories.
Stay informed, stay ahead. Afro Mobile brings you the latest in everything current affairs. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, get a first preview to the most pressing issues locally and internationally, all in the palm of your hand. Afro Mobile, the future is now.
Turn it up! Pulseradio.mtn.co.ug. It's your vibe your way.
Let us reuse, recycle, and reduce the use of plastics. We need this earth than ever before. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the day, this is the time. Please let us protect the environment. Assalamu alaikum.
This message is brought to you by National Environment Management Authority, Kampala Capital City Authority, Vivo Energy, Airco, Pepsi, Uganda Breweries Limited, Stanbic Bank, and NBS TV. With Nexcom, you can expand the impact of your message. In an age where ambition knows no bounds, Nexcom is your unrivaled strategic communication partner. We don't just amplify your brand's voice, we create communication solutions that move the cash needle. We develop your ideas into industry-defining transformations through well-designed and executed campaigns and disruptive techniques. Why accept ordinary when you can create extraordinary? Contact us immediately and let us design a future in your brand lean. Exciting news for news lovers. The Now Post, your reliable source of swift and accurate news, has introduced its all-new mobile-friendly experience. We have upgraded your mobile news experience, giving you a slick, user-friendly interface, making it easier than ever to stay informed. Embark on a new era of news exploration with Now Post, scrolling through with ease because it's seamless and lighter. Now Post, accurate news, fast. This Ramadan, spend time with Salam TV. Join us for our daily Ramadan tips, reminders, Quran recitations, and health advice featuring special guests. Sibul Kuka Iftar segment at 6:45 p.m. taking you up and about in major mosques. Be inspired by the live Tarawih prayers followed by live charity appeal, giving you the opportunity to get rewards with Salam charity partners. Salam TV offers you a platform to connect with your Muslim clientele through special TV campaigns, special Ramadan activations, CSR outreaches, and Iftar dinners. Make the most of your Ramadan with Salam TV. To be part of us, call on
What is our promise to you? The responsibility that we have upheld for the last decade? The commitment to you has always been to bring you the stories that matter to you, the stories behind the headlines. At Live at 9, we bring you in-depth analysis and a 360-degree perspective to every story. We make sure that we are the voice to the voiceless. In a world where truth and facts have become hard to detect, we remain true to our dedication to bring you the unbiased and varnished, balanced and untainted truth behind every story. From breaking news to probing investigations and in-studio interviews, we keep you informed of the pulse of Uganda and the world.
Still watching NBS Sunrise. My name is Shamim Nabakos, bringing you up to speed with the news. Now, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands, Dorcas Okalonyi, has been issued with criminal summons by the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament over her failure to appear before the committee to provide accountability of allocated funds in the year 2022-2023. The chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, Mwanga Chivumbi, who also directed the CID to go and retrieve the critical documents of the ministry, says the Permanent Secretary must appear in person and also on the 26th of March 2024 before the committee issues more directives.
The meeting between the officials from the Ministry of Lands with the legislators sitting on the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament flopped after the accounting officer Dorcas Okalonyi failed to show up.
Honourable colleagues, that if you've seen, better to read through this ministerial policy statement, it is the meanest of all the documents you have in terms of detail.
According to the chairperson of the committee, Mohammed Mwanga Chivumbi, Parliament on Monday received a letter from the Permanent Secretary written on the 7th of this month notifying the House that she will be out of the country on official duties. To the legislators, this was termed as a deliberate refusal by the accounting officer to appear before the committee.
It would be self-defeating for us to entertain the responses. So is it procedure right to continue?
There are things we want them to note as we take that decision. And to know that they are not just shabby in terms of dodging their appearance, they are overall shabby.
The committee was also concerned that out of the 110 billion shillings received by the ministry, they only provided accountability for 11 billion shillings.
The agency, this one, avails us a management letter. I'm sending you with the CID to retrieve a management letter that the auditors wrote to you.
The committee also issued criminal summons to the Permanent Secretary Dorcas Okalonyi to appear on the 26th of March upon his return from New York.
Not under normal circumstances. I'm now invoking powers of the High Court of this committee to summon this accounting officer on 26th.
Salam TV and Salam Charity Foundation have launched a campaign and programs to be followed during the holy month of Ramadan. Among the initiatives launched is the fundraising of the construction of Nakaloke Center Mosque in Bali and the purchase of a Muslim cemetery, among other projects in the country.
Next Media, led by the Group CEO Ken Karisa, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Nakaloke Center Mosque Management aimed at raising funds for the construction of Nakaloke Center Mosque, while another was signed between Next Media and Salam Muslim Cemetery in Kowe too. Ken Karisa pledged on behalf of Next Media to do everything possible to support these projects that bring Muslims together to achieve their goals. He adds that the projects like these further mobilize Muslims and unite them. The construction of Nakaloke Center Mosque is still ongoing, with Muslims funding the project forward. After the Nkoe Muslim Cemetery was filled, Muslims started a campaign to buy another land for the same cause. About 130 acres of land are being considered in Mityana for the Salam Muslim Cemetery in Nkoe too. Salam Charity Foundation, in collaboration with Salam TV, is engaged in various initiatives to promote education, health and economic empowerment, among others.
Ours is development, to encourage the Ugandans to be part of development and to inculcate the discipline of being confident to use the resources we have for development and to close the mind of keeping begging abroad. Less money is being got from Arab world, from Europe, or even USA. We are closing that gap. Every big project that is being put up beyond $1 billion, it's done by Ugandans.
While speaking on behalf of Salam Charity, Haj Karim Karisa pledged to do their best to help, especially the poor.
Now, Uganda's economic experts say that Uganda's GDP increasing to $58 billion and earning the country 13th position ranking on the continent, fundamentals such as unemployment, price stability and distribution of income should be the next target for the country.
The African continent is slowly moving to establish itself as a commercial powerhouse if the gross domestic product figures are to go by. The GDP, or gross domestic product, is the monetary value of all goods and services produced within the territorial boundaries of a country in a given period of time per se a year. The latest rankings of the African economies show that South Africa ranks first with a GDP of $401 billion, followed by Nigeria at $395 billion, with Egypt in the third position at $358 billion, and Uganda ranks 13th on the continent with a GDP of $58 billion.
So usually each one of us should be at possibly $1,200 per person per year. That would mean for a population of 45 to 47, Uganda's GDP should be about 55 billion. We're not so far away. People have put us at 58, but we know by our own computations we're at around 50.
Even though this figure has grown, those in the kitchen working so hard to raise this figure have reservations.
Of Chinese doing businesses outside the law, person who is a manufacturer should not be a retailer, should not be a wholesaler, should not even be a hawker.
Dr. Fred Muhumuza insists that Uganda is far below her middle income target, and not even the ranking reveals the reality on ground.
Sea of poverty around you, the people who are still below $1 a day being 20%, the people who are below $2 a day being about 43%. You add the two, you're really talking about 65% of the population is below $2 a day.
Experts say that now more than ever before, fundamentals like employment, price stability, incomes, and the distribution of that very income to the population become important, just as growing the GDP itself.
So we need to get back to those corruption issues. If we are to realize the president's directive that I want to increase this GDP from 50 to 500 over the next 15 years.
That's a stand on the critical issues within the economy of Uganda. That brings us to the close of this edition of NBS Sunrise. My name is Shamim Nawakoza, who has been taking you through the news. Coming up shortly is NBS Morning Breeze. Mildred Tuhaise will be here, and Dalton Kawesa, also Simon Kagwanjel. And later on, they'll be hosting the leader of opposition to discuss a wide range of issues. Good morning.
Uganda, a land bursting with culture and creativity, introduces an innovation for our times. Next Wowzy, a fusion of Next Media, Uganda's largest media network, and Wowzy, a leading influencer marketing platform. It's more than just a platform. It's a movement that bridges ambitious brands with vibrant content creators. Download the app today Connect, create, influence.